So they need to give it to somebody who can do money, put butts in the seat, and that's anybody but CM Punk.
All right. Point to Daris.
Wow.
Point to Daris because he's right. CM Punk never he's the only one who brought up that CM Punk never should have gotten it in the first place. And I know that, part of that had to be because there were certain people whose heads are more bone than brain who every day were cranking out articles about Christian returning here, Christian returning there, Christian will win the money in the bank, Christian will mow your lawn, Christian will do your taxes, Christian will save your job, blah, blah, blah. That being said, there was no reason. CM Punk was just not the least logical choice because of his lackluster title reign. And Shane, you're right. He shouldn't necessarily have to win just because it was in his hometown. But he looks so weak. All it's going to do is devalue the title that people that you guys on this show have said is being devalued because they are constantly changing hands.
Yep, I agree.
I'm sure you do agree. You got the point. What do you mean? Yep, I agree. Of course you do. I think M is in the chat room, Ray, and he's saying he's deducting moderator points from you for asking a question about CM Punk.
Ask him if it affects my score sheet. All right. Question 4. Two sentences of preface and then the question. There seems to be a lot of concern about Shelton Benjamin and how he's being used. The beatdowns at the hand of John Morrison on consecutive SmackDowns and pay-per-views, his pairing with Charlie Haas. That seems to have led to fears that he's being relegated to SmackDown's wasteland of a tag team division. That, coupled with his inability to build steam during a U.S. Championship run and his matches with Undertaker that never built to anything, sort of have to eventually lead us into the question of, after 4 years of dead crowds, feuds to nowhere, and lackluster title runs, his title of most underused wrestler has to eventually come into play. So, take it or leave it, Shelton Benjamin is far less talented than we, the wrestling universe, initially thought.
Can I go? Because I'm just feeling shafted. I just want to get this out of the way so I can just sit back and listen to me lose another point.
Go ahead, Shane.
I am going to leave that. First of all, I think the only way Shelton is going to get that push to the world title that we all we all believe that he deserves, is when the WWE signs this young kid from Brooklyn that will chase down cars and hold signs up that says, "You got to believe in yourself, Sheldon. Push yourself. Do not worry about anybody else." Until that young man is signed as Shelton's personal valet and manager, then Shelton will continue to be in the mid-card and be misused. And that's all I have to say about that, because I'm conceding defeat. Go ahead.
Who's next? Who's next,
Go
right?
ahead. You're next, Demetrus. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to. God, that's a tough question. In that there's parts of it that I take, and there's parts of it I leave. Is Shelton Benjamin extremely talented, extremely athletic? Yes, he is. He's a great wrestler, but and AKD is my boy, but he's probably going to kill me. I don't think that I don't think that Shelton Benjamin is world championship material. Ray, you talked about John Morrison. John Morrison is 10 times as charismatic as Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, to be a world champion, you have to have, the look, the charisma, the mic work. You don't necessarily have to have in-ring ability, as we've seen from, countless numbers of past champions. So just because Shelton Benjamin is a great wrestler, to people that love pure wrestling, yes, he deserves to be a champion, but in the WWE's eyes, that doesn't matter. and I just think that he comes off as being a bit boring, and I don't think that's gonna lead him to a world championship. I see it happening for Morrison than I do before Shelton Benjamin.
All right, and Daris.
All right. AKD, that's hilarious. I'd love to see it happening, but it's not happening. Demetrus talks about a world champion. It has to have mic skills, have charisma. What charisma does former world champion Khali have? None. I've had 6 that have more charisma than him. So what is happening right now is they're retooling Shelton Benjamin. They're putting him back into the tag team that got him started, got him all the success. Although he's not winning these matches, but we're all looking at these matches and like, oh my gosh, look at his talent. Yet even when he loses, it brings it out even more. Wow, how is he losing? He's still got all this talent. They're retooling him. They're putting him back in the tag team, just like he was back in the tag team right before he started getting his push against Evolution and Ric Flair. The same thing's happening here. He's partnered with Charlie Haas. They're going to look awesome together once again, and then they're going to break them up. And yes, John Morrison's going to be a world champion, but the question's about Shelton Benjamin, and Shelton Benjamin will be a world champion.
All right. Point to Demetrius. Daris, bringing up the great Khali doesn't count because then they put the belt around him, and then immediately everyone in the WWE, outside of the WWE, and outside of this universe as we know it, realized that might have been the single worst idea in company history. Worse than the Gobbledygooker, worse than the Shockmaster, worse than the Red Rooster. Khali as a champion might have been the worst idea ever. And if that's the only example of a world champion not having mic skills that we can come up with, then that's the proof that you do need mic skills that, frankly, Shelton just doesn't have. Shane, I would love to give the point to you, but you conceded defeat.
I know.
Come on, Shane. Come on.
Listen. I'm here for, I know what I'm here for, okay? And please, don't give me any harsh criticism, okay? If you don't like what I'm saying, just say good job and keep it moving, okay?
Exactly. Shane, all of your answers have been spectacular. I just want to let you know that. No matter what I think of them, I'm just going to tell you that all you guys' answers were great. And what I actually want to do is after this, I'm just going to declare whoever made me smile the most the winner, because smiles are life's trophies.
All right. Do we have a deciding question?
Wasn't that 3 points for Demetrius?
No, I only have 2. Daris got 2 points in a row, so.
Oh, wow.
Unless you get the point here, Shane.
So,
the next point
unless Shane wants to play spoiler, we can go to the 6th question, but this should decide it since Shane is conceding.
My third party on.
Okay. Despite Samoa Joe's prominence within the company, what with his current push involving warring factions, Eric Young and Robert Roode have seen better success as of late and have gotten closer to the title. So, take it or leave it, Robert Roode or Eric Young will hold the TNA World Heavyweight title before Samoa Joe regains it. To Shane first.
I am leaving that. As bad as this whole Nation of Violence thing is with Samoa Joe, I think they're trying to do a slower build, something big, and eventually he will get right back into the title picture. Maybe they're waiting until they reveal who this person is that dropped them off in the car the other night or whatever, but I think it's just a slow build to something. Eric Young, yes, he got a match with Sting a couple weeks ago or whatever, but I think that was just filler, much like Kelly getting a #1 title contendership versus Maurice at Extreme Rules. It's just a filler. They put somebody. Well, now I'm going to stop comparing to Kelly because I was going to say they're putting somebody that's capable of working a good match. And Kelly doesn't fall in that category yet.